On this episode of Real Frank Movie Reviews,
we review the movie Twisters. Pietro. Twins! We got twins!
Real Frank.
The guest reviewer for this episode, we welcome back Pietro.
I am welcomed.
Could you give our audience an overview of what Twisters is about?
Kate is a storm chaser. She was a storm chaser, but after a massive tornado that killed 3 of her friends, she moves to New York, starts working for Noah. Later, Javi convinces her to go back to storm chasing for a week in Oklahoma, where a lot of tornadoes have been hitting. There she meets Tyler, who at first was an enemy, but they work together with Javi to tame a tornado.
I think you mean Javi, right? Is it Javi?
Javi. I don't know.
So Tyler's like a social media celebrity. He chases tornadoes and does crazy stuff and films it on YouTube and crazy stuff like that, right?
Shoots rockets into tornadoes.
Right. Now, you saw the first Twister from the 1996 version, and then this Twisters. Do you see any similarities between the two?
Parts of the story were kind of similar. Like, when they went to that derby thing with where they were in the stands when she went there with Tyler.
The rodeo?
That was the rodeo. That was kind of like that drive-up movie scene in the first one.
Good catch, right? Is very similar, right?
It was very similar.
Same formula. They have to drive through. Tornado comes. They're at a rodeo. A tornado comes. Anything else you notice similarity-wise?
I mean, both of the moms of like Kate in this one and whoever it was in the first one, they both have cows.
Oh, you mean the aunt?
Yeah.
The aunt where the aunt went and had steaks in the first one in Twisters 1996? Mm-hmm. Very true. And then they go see Kate's mom, and she makes barbecue.
And has lots of cows.
Correct. How about the beginning when everyone's at the restaurant and they're all meeting up at the restaurant? All the tornado chasers, they're all at the restaurant when Kate joins. Isn't that very similar to when his crew stops Bill's crew and stops there, and then they got that other guy, the bad guy in the black in the first one? Very similar, right?
Very similar. Yeah.
So now that we got some of the similarities out, what did you actually think of the movie Twisters?
I thought it was just okay, because, how was the tornado there without lightning?
Yes,
There's no lightning.
The special effects that generated the tornado, they looked very CGI to me. How about you?
They did look CGI. You know it's CGI, but with that you can actually tell. And then also at that first EF5 tornado at the beginning, that path looked almost the same as the one at the end of the first one. Very true.
Very true. Now, this one seemed very, very similar to the first one, and they tried to twist it with a modern day version of it. But unfortunately for me, the sound, and especially the sound scene in the first one sounds so much better than this one. It seemed kind of weak. It should have been louder, more intense. I never felt the same intensity. How about you?
I did not feel the same intensity. That one sounded great, even on a normal TV.
And what's hard to imagine is that movie's almost 30 years old, and technology has gotten far superior. But here we are. Every time, I don't know about you, when I was looking at the tornado, I just kept looking. It doesn't look realistic. It looks CGI'd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then also another part that looked the same was also those twin tornadoes.
Oh, twins! Twins! We got twins! Remember that line? Overall, you weren't too impressed. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I was not that impressed.
I kind of agree with you. I was kind of very disappointed. Now, what was surprising to me when we were watching the movie, the audience, a couple of the audience members clapped at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and those quote-unquote funny lines that weren't really that funny, people laughed.
Right? They weren't that good, right?
They weren't that good.
They were force-fed and they weren't even that funny. I have to admit, I was quite disappointed with this one, but I had low expectations going in. How about you?
I thought it would be just okay, like how I think of it now. But like they could have done so much better with it.
Agreed.
So much better.
With that being said, what would you say was your favorite part in the movie if you had one?
The credits.
That's my line. You stole my line, man. You know I say that one. Do you know what my favorite part in the movie was?
What? The credits?
The TRX.
Yeah.
The TRX is a star in this. See how tough that thing is? TRX is tough. What do you think about Tyler's special customized truck that drills into the ground to stop it from being sucked up by the tornado? What did you think of that?
That's just impossible. No ground is strong enough for you to be able to dig in all the dirt not to collapse on it, and for two to hold your truck in there and not get blown away in a tornado.
Some other issues I had with this movie that made it not very good was the whole premise of how they're going to defeat the tornado. You touched base on it a little bit early on about how Kate was trying to find a way to prevent a tornado, and the big solution for it, was this little chemical powder compound she comes up with that mixes in a barrel, and then you got to drive a truck to the center of it and shoot off the barrels, and somehow this chemical compound mixture will stop a tornado in its track and cause it to dissolve. The chemical
compound mixture is apparently used in diapers.
Diapers?
Diapers. Yeah, did you see that in the beginning?
No, I didn't. Is what it was?
Said it's also in diapers.
I missed that part. So diapers. So I wonder if that's good for the environment. All the green people are going to be okay with shooting chemicals in the air to stop a tornado.
Also those rockets that they had to shoot up.
The rockets, yeah. They had to shoot the cannon's lids off to shoot it up into the air, right?
No, and then also before they did the powder, they had those things that shot out of the truck where the fireworks would normally shoot out.
Oh, right.
Of the red truck.
Some very odd instances. My other thing I had an issue with this movie was the ending. So there's a big tornado going towards a town. So they're going to drive over to the town and help the town people take cover. Like the town people can't see a tornado's coming. They can't hear the tornado sirens, and they're not smart enough.
They can't go in their basements on their own.
They're not smart enough to figure out, oh, maybe we should take some shelter and go in a basement or somewhere undercover. No, the whole crew has to go and help them and pull them and push them into the safety.
Another thing was that guy who Javi was getting money from to set up storm power by evaluating damage from tornadoes. I mean, why do you need to include that?
Well, that was the big plot, right? That's how he had all the money and had all the nice equipment, because the story is he worked for this guy who financed them, and they would go to these areas that were devastated by tornadoes and offer to buy their land and property because it would be cheap, because they were just through a horrific disaster than rather try and rebuild. Kind of scummy. So that's another good point, right? So Javi works for this guy. So technically he's a bad guy, right? Because he's trying to make his boss money. At the end, all of a sudden he has a change of heart, right? And he helps go to the town and helps them run for cover. Woo! What'd you think about that storyline?
The story overall was just bad.
It was, wasn't it? And along with the CGI. Not impressive. If you had a choice, watch the original Twister or Twisters, which one would you watch again? 1996?
The OG.
The OG. And it's hard to believe that thing is 30 years old almost, and it sounded better and it looked better in my opinion. This one should have been far superior, but it was very poorly done. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree very much. This is one of the rare instances Pietro doesn't like a movie.
Wow, that's a rare. With that being said, how do you score this movie? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
3.4, really low.
A 3.4 is very low for you. Quite shocked by that. Wow, 3.4. Pietro. Was there any moment in the movie you were scared or felt tense?
No. I mean, in Twister, the normal one, the original, I could probably still get tense from watching that one because it looks better, sounds more real, looks more real.
Agreed, 100%.
Has a more believable plot.
Very true. Very true. Did you notice, too, that the character of Kate was kind of a ripoff of Bill from the first one, right? Bill was going to be a weatherman. Kate works for a weather company, right?
Noah.
And she said, I'll give you 1 week to help you find those tornadoes. And Bill said, I will give you 1 day. Remember that? You remember that? You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
For me, overall, I give this movie a 4.1.
You scored it higher than me.
Know why I gave it a 4.1? A very generous 4.1?
Why?
You got any guess?
Oh, the TRX.
Because they had a white TRX in it. Hooah! If it wasn't for the TRX in it, I wouldn't have gave a shit about this movie.
You can tell how generous it is from me giving it a 3.9. The 3.4 was just probably like 2.1 of it was from the TRX, and then the rest was from like those, like the very rare good parts of the movie.
I think this is the first time you've given a movie a higher score or a lower score than I have.
No, Lightyear.
Really?
Yeah, I gave it like a 2 point something. You gave it like a 3 point something.
That's weird. That's our review of Twister. In our opinion, wait for it to come out on streaming. It's not that good. Until next time, thanks for watching.
I'm taking shots to the heat. Now I can feel it in my teeth. I feel the lyrics start to seep. Out my veins like I bleed. Drop that bass on the beat for a minute. When I spit these words to the beat, no limit. I don't make no sense, I don't need no gimmick. I'ma say what I think, be real specific. And I master the chase, I'm a pass in the race. You could ask me the way I attack every day. I adapt and I change, never cap, and I say what I mean.